Hello, welcome once again to continuing with the series of learning to code, in particular building databases. This is the code we've been using and updating during most of our tutorials, with little or no changes in most of the structures except adding a few things. The last of the additions was the structure where the databases was added, and it built a particular powerful resource that we saw building a database, and then we added this show all. At the moment you click on that and it's not going anywhere because it's not being activated. And so our intention at this point is to actually create something where when you click this, it will then pop up with a particular big window giving us lots of information that we desire, fetching from the database that is the back end onto this interface. Okay, I'll close that. And so go back to our buttons and see the name of the button we want to activate is called show all. Copy that. Bring it down to any of these sections and the while loop, that is while true. In other words, while the layout is open, you want to see if you can show the records. We can place it here. So we'll put it if event equals show all. We want it to do something. Let me just show you that that is going to act by printing something or working. Let's show it actually on a particular pop-up that you can see. I will show you this. It's called sg.capital_print. Okay. So we're going to try that now. Okay, so you're going to see that. So it caught that information and it's displaying it here that it's working. Okay, so clicking on that informs me that that button will do something if I put something there for it to do. Close that, exit. Then we'll go on to the real thing. Just watch and see what I will be doing here. I'll just be putting some codes here which you follow. And first of all, you want to create records the way it should display. And like I did in the previous videos, we would create a particular, we take this off from here and that we just above here or anywhere really, we call define that window, and of course full colon. And what we want to do is to actually get the record from the back end. So you want to get patient, let's call it record. Okay, and which we will then have to generate somewhere. Okay, and we'll get it up here. Diff, close that, and then over here we will have to retrieve the records. Let's still call it with the patient records kind of, so that it actually makes a little bit of sense, so that you always know what we're dealing with. And we will again copy that. You see a lot of links here. Def full colon. We will at this point create an empty space like as a holder, and create that very empty square brackets. And remember that we're getting this data from the database, so we'll connect to SQLite again. Sorry, it's connect first of all equals SQLite dot connect. The name of the database again is client rec.db. Okay, so we connect that database, and then we will call the console according to the plan, and then let's query. These are syntax equals to, and then you're going to put a command that is SQL command. So you're going to select everything, but in order to ensure that you know what we're selecting, remember the holders are full names, just as you gave them when you were filling the information here. Okay, full name, DOB, gender, home address, phone contact, from, we have to remember the name of the database, the table rather, and it's patients. Okay, patients. And once you've done that, you execute, and what we're executing is the query. Okay, and then use the for loop for row in C, that is the query section, we want results, and append. So these are coding languages which will capture whatever you've selected, and then you can return the results. Results here is what you got here, so you fill it into that space. Okay, so you've got, then you want to then put this in a string value, so let's call it client records equals to, so you've called that so that we can actually return it. Return client records. Okay, Now this is where we're creating the display, and that is where we'll do a lot of work here. So you just follow carefully. We will call it an array. Client records array equals get patient records. So that is attached, and then you want to then display them. Headings. In the display, you want certain things to be on the heading, and here you can call it in capitals name, sorry, we'll put it date of birth, gender, address, phone number, and then you will create a layout for the display. You call this layout, sorry, we cap it in lowercase, layout for display equals, remember layout, first of all you put the first square brackets, sorry, clear that, and then within here you put another bracket, square bracket, and that square bracket will be SG table, because you're going to create a table where you display these values. So the values will be equals client records array. Okay, and from there you will start displaying other aspects of it, like for the headings, you want to equal headings. The maximum column width for each of the table headings is 35. You want to auto size each column with the intention that it will keep information within it. You want to display, sorry, there's an error here. So you want to display row numbers. So you put true, comma, justification, you can put it left, okay, and you put number of rows 10. Of course, if you have more, it will create a scroll down for you. You want to put a key because you might want to draw some of the information there to display at some stage. So let's call it, the key here will be, let's call it patient table. Okay. Row height. We can always adjust this, but let's put it 70, or let's put 60 or something like that. We want to enable events, sorry, because we want to do something with the data, and we'll say true. And perhaps you want to say a thing or two about the table so that somebody can read what it's saying, what the table is saying. So tooltip, you can, in commas and quotation, you could say all patients results. Okay. Right. So by the time you get all of that, you can come out to this second square bracket and create the name of a window. So let's call window result, window R. Okay, equals to, remember, SG window. Whatever is not in the window will never get shown. And we call this window summary results. Okay, and put comma. So then we'll bring the layout for display. Remember, this layout will have to be displayed in the window. Okay. Model to make it true so that it can actually work very easily. So now you've got a window that is called window R, wind R. So you say while loop, which is while true. You then say event, comma, values equals wind, remember wind R dot read. So remember, until you put this command, nothing happens. And then you then said if event equals, that's double equals, SG win is a standard command, closed, then break. Okay, we'll stop here and see how things have gone. So we started by saying, okay, I'll show you the output first before I can describe what is happening. Right here, remember, if you watched the last tutorial, we already put one data. But let's put another one. Kitchen laundry. Oh, kitchen LAN or something like that. Date of birth, as all as that. Gender, male, or can we put a female? Address 7 Fieldfare, and then phone contact 4321. Okay, add that one, and you see the information. Enter, save to database. Okay, let's come to show results. Very good. So you see here, kitchen LAN here, Fieldfare, all that I've entered here, and the information about that result is shown and captured. It seems like there's a bit of overlap here, which I can always expand to see what is there, but we can make this a bigger table so that it doesn't have to be cramped up this heavily. So let's see. This is something that we can do it as part of adjustments, but let me show it for the sake of clarity. Close that, and I think there was an error here again. I will correct this at some point. That error was a previous one. It's actually and something I did that should not have been done, which is where I will take you to at the moment. Let me take you to stopping that. Very good. I think that was what I didn't do. I should have closed the data from that point. But look at what I did. Right, so we put save to database, which we have done already. And then on this occasion, we wanted to show all the data by creating a record. Okay. Creating that record led us to define this, where we'll capture an array of information to display on a table. Okay. That table we can create. We set maximum width length. We can increase that to 45. And then we got records by retrieving the records from the SQLite database, which is clientrich.db, and displayed it row by row. We showed the row number and many things that have been that will be displayed. I'll open again, run it just to see how it looks like. We've entered data already. Show all. There it is again. All right. And we can do a lot more complex things with this database, including the fact that if we click this, it should pop up and give us a chance to delete or keep this record. Okay, or edit it as well. But that I will leave to your judgment and passion to learn more on how to solve that problem. But suffice to say, we've learned through this series how to build an interface which you can modify for anything. Registration form for your business, for example, registration form for patients or some other social group. You can capture as many information as you want and modify this as much as you want. You can use this for recording a surgical or some procedure in a hospital. You can submit information. If you try to submit empty, it's interactive. You can clear whatever information that you thought may not be right. After submitting, you would have a clear box to enter new information. And then you can show information you've entered previously. I hope you would like this and can learn further to develop your own system in a very gentle way. This would be a challenge to know what is actually happening here. I will find out and you get the solution in the comments. But it's a very simple process that once you shot the app, that shows up. But in real life, your intention is to finish developing this app so that you don't have this interface of development showing, and so you wouldn't even see any of these back-end effects happening. That would be another tutorial altogether to show how you can release this app to be used on machines that do not have any of these development softwares running on their machines. In other words, somebody who doesn't know Python at all can actually use the app without having this very system. Okay, in summary, you see that with just about, let me see, how many lines of code really? About 140 lines of code, we have developed a very complex system that stores information that we can actually retrieve and actually interrogate and be at peace and at home with. I hope you will continue to support my efforts, and if you need any other development and or challenges in